Hey guys, it's your girl Juju, and yes, I am back with another video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Today we're going to get into Chennedy Carter and Caitlin Clark and what people had to say regarding the incident that took place during the third quarter of the Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever game. We're going to read this article. This article is going to play into some of the things that I wish to discuss. It was posted 3 hours ago, so this is new information as of this morning or this early afternoon. Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky were fined after their loss to the Indiana Fever. So this article is basically saying that they were fined because they did not follow the rules in terms of interviewing after the game. The Chicago Sky and rookie Angel Reese were fined after Saturday's loss to the Indiana Fever. Reese was fined $1,000 for failing to make herself available for interviews after the team's 71-70 loss. Reese recorded 8 points and 13 rebounds in her first professional game against the top overall pick, Caitlin Clark. Clark had 11 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. Clark was on the receiving end of a hard hip check from the Sky's Chennedy Carter in the third quarter. As the whistle blew, the ESPN broadcast caught Reese getting up off the bench and appearing to cheer on Carter. She was also the first one to greet the veteran player as the quarter ended. The Sky fell to 3-4 with the loss, and the organization was fined $5,000 for failing to adhere to the WNBA's media availability policy. The Fever, now 2-8, recorded their first home win of the season, and the Sky will host the New York Liberty Tuesday at Wintrust Arena, which is going to be a good game. So I guess I'm not understanding how the organization was fined $5,000 because there were people available for the media following the game, because there's a clip circulating on Twitter or X, whatever you refer to it as, of Chennedy Carter, next to her Camilla Cardosa, and then next to Camilla Teaspoon. They were answering questions from the media. Now, when the media wanted to focus on the Caitlin Clark and Chennedy Carter incident that took place on the court, Chennedy refused to answer those questions, but nonetheless, she was available. So I guess I'm not understanding what they mean, but there has to be more to this policy. Maybe you refusing to answer certain questions could be against the policy. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think about that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get into the clip that I believe is what Chennedy Carter responded to. And I may say their names interchangeably because it's Caitlin Clark, Chennedy Carter. I might call Caitlin Carter, Chennedy Clark, but just understand who I'm talking about at the time, okay? It's too many C's going on in this shit. But okay, so right here, boom, y'all see that elbow, right? So I feel as though this is the play that caused all of this controversy. And after this play, Aaliyah Boston scored. Everyone headed back towards the other end. And as they were heading back towards the other end, it looks as though Caitlin Clark faced Chennedy and may have said something, and then they kept it pushing, which is exactly what the journalist or the reporter is going to ask Chennedy during the post-game interview. But so let me know what you guys think. Now that you guys see what led up to that shove, do you guys feel it was justified? Do you guys think that it was excessive? I personally think that it would have been justified if it would have occurred during gameplay. But just walking up to her, shoving her down as the team is about to inbound the ball, it just looked out of place. So I just think that it should have been done while playing defense, honestly. Maybe if Caitlin Clark was driving up, for a layup or something, or trip or something. But I just didn't like how she went about it, if that makes sense. I'm all about getting your lick back. And clearly other professional athletes or former professional athletes are as well. So we're going to get into a few things. I want to watch this clip first. Let me mute my mic and I'm going to spark up because I'm so irritated. I've recorded this so many times, but I'm going to skip through some of this clip, give y'all my feedback after watching it, and then we're going to move forward.
their athletes not being compensated properly, their athletes not being treated properly, and as a whole, their sport and brand of basketball in terms of women playing basketball did not garner really proper attention. Nobody really cared or paid attention to it, which is a damn shame because you girls have been great. You have been world-class athletes. I grew up appreciating, I'm a hooper though, but I grew up watching the Beasts play in the WNBA. I grew up watching Diana Taurasi do her thing, and Sue Bird wow us for her savvy, and Candace Parker and Lisa Leslie go after it, and Maya Moore and Cheryl Swoops, and the list goes on. There's been greatness in the WNBA. You guys have been great women athletes. But for whatever reason, mainly due to ignorance, your sport has not garnered the proper attention and respect that it's long overdue. And now this woman comes along and brings the world in and is now giving y'all that proper attention and respect. And you guys are getting these brand deals and getting this money. And instead of being appreciative and acknowledging that, you guys are like coming at her with these like hate ass comments talking about, oh, well, you know, it's not just because of her, blah, 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 blah. Last night our game was sold out and she didn't play. Last night we flew.
Okay, so I want to respond to some of what he said thus far because I agree with what he's saying, but I also have my own sentiments to add. So first and foremost, the Caitlin Clark effect is a real thing. We're witnessing it in real time. You can hate it or love it. It is what it is, right? Boom. But I also think sleeping on the effect of Angel Reese is why we keep, or people like him, keep trying to enforce the Caitlin Clark effect. Because you do have other people who realize that Caitlin Clark is not the end-all be-all to this new evolution of WNBA basketball. But there are other key players, which we'll get into other videos in a moment, that's going to speak to exactly what I mean by this. But there are other people like Angel Reese who are equally as important to Caitlin Clark's success because that's her rival. You know what I mean? So I think that a lot of people like this gentleman here want current players to get on their knees and worship and praise Caitlin Clark for this publicity that she's brought to the WNBA. But the truth of the matter is that that is not going to fucking happen. In fact, we're witnessing quite the opposite. And so I think that once people can realize, like, okay, this is just what it is, and that Caitlin Clark is going to have to adjust to this, I think that her fans and the people that support her, including myself, like, I'm okay with this. So I'm speaking up in regards to people like him. But I think that people will be more comfortable with the way things are going once they feel Caitlin Clark either A, has protection from her team's support and protection from her team, or B, once they feel that Caitlin Clark is giving back that same energy. Because when Angel Reese was clotheslined by Alyssa Thomas, where was his video? There wasn't one. So the thing is, the difference between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese is you can try Angel Reese, but you're not going to get too far because she's not one of them. She's one of those. She's not going to just lay down and tolerate the BS. And we've seen her play in the NCAA. She's a big shit talker, and she gives the same energy that's given to her times 10. She has an attitude. And when I say attitude, I don't mean a bad attitude. I mean, she has attitude. Like, I'm here. What's up? Yeah, I'm a rookie. And like, she has attitude. She doesn't care. Her transition has been the most flawless. Like, she fits right into the WNBA. So I feel as though Angel Reese is not getting the credit that she deserves. Mentioning her, to me, as having impact is not necessarily giving her the credit that she deserves. Because you now have to speak about how she's been impactful. Just like you're going to explain how Caitlin Clark is impactful. So let me keep going now. Let me keep going. Let me mute my mic.
Charter and she wasn't on that flight. Let's stop it. It's not a coincidence you guys are just now chartering flights her rookie year. It's not a coincidence that now that she's in the WNBA, everyone's paying attention to the WNBA. I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot more people are. Okay? It's not a coincidence. It's the Caitlin Clark effect. Now, are there a lot of hands that can be raised of people who had a part to play? For sure. Angel Reese, Paige, Haley, Juju, the list goes on.
Okay, so this is what I mean. So I'm going to touch on two things that he mentioned here. Okay, for one, when these women are responding to certain things in regards to Caitlin Clark, such as, oh, well, it wasn't just one player or this or that. They're not responding to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark hasn't gotten on the internet and said anything that will cause these women to respond directly to her. They're responding to people like you, sir. They're responding to the Charles Barkleys and the other critics who make it seem as though it's the Caitlin Clark show and nobody else matters at all. Those are the people who the Angel Reeses and the Camila Cardosos are throwing the shots at when they do get online and respond. It's not to Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark just so happens to be the topic of the subject, so she just has to catch that stray.
There's women athletes, basketball players, and coaches who could raise their hand and say they had a part to play in the awareness that has grown in the game of women's basketball. But no more than Caitlin Clark. If you girls were Destiny's Child, she would be Beyonce. If all the girls in collegiate sports were a band and they were in sync, she would be Justin Timberlake. She was the main attraction. There's no if.
I'm going to stop right there because I feel like I've heard enough. I do want to leave off by saying this. If you can sit here, and he goes further into why Caitlin Clark has garnered the support and the notoriety that she's gotten. But as you just heard, and I'll let it play, I guess. As you just heard when he said, oh, sure, we can speak about others who've played a part, Angel Reese Page. Okay, so how have they played a part, though? Because in a few moments here, you're going to tell us how Caitlin Clark played a part. You mentioned that they played a part, so you acknowledged it, but you couldn't even go into detail as to how. So do you really feel that way? Or are you just talking out the side of your neck? You know what I mean? Because I can tell you how those other players have played a part. I mean, for starters, I didn't know who Caitlin Clark was until they played Angel Reese and Flau'jae. And when I seen Angel Reese and Flau'jae win that championship, I was then put on to Caitlin Clark. You have people who can say the opposite. So let's, like I said, we have to acknowledge the effect of both players. Because remember back then when Angel Reese did the John Cena and all of that went viral? That went viral because of what Angel Reese did to Caitlin Clark, right? So they both played a role in that. Caitlin Clark started to get notoriety because people started to realize, like, hey, she can ball. Like, win, lose, draw, a ring or no ring, she's a baller. So, yes, she garnered her own notoriety from that. But it's the overall rivalry with her and Angel Reese that has gotten the game where it is today. Argue with your mama. But let's finish hearing a little bit more of what he has to say before we move forward.
Ands and buts about that, all right? And it's not because she's white. It's not because she's straight. Good God, no one cares. And it's not because she's pretty. Another thing I heard from some woman who knows nothing about basketball saying that. It's because she's an unbelievable basketball player and talent. It's because she has a game style that we've never really seen before. We were watching last year's games. I promise you, I was watching Iowa women's basketball. Not because a woman out there that was playing was straight or white. It was because a woman was pulling up from half court looking like a Stephen Curry. She's like the Stephen Curry of women's basketball. And hopefully she can be that one day. She's got.
Okay, so we heard him explain furthermore why he feels Caitlin Clark is getting the notoriety that she's receiving. She's like a female Steph Curry. Okay, but you also acknowledge that other players played a role. How did they play their role? And he couldn't explain that. So I just feel like some people just be talking and they don't look at things from all perspectives. They just want somebody to be a hater and racist on top of that. There are people saying that what Caitlin Clark is experiencing is racism. I'm like, no, it's not racism. It might be jealousy, yeah. Call it hating, yeah. Call it jealousy, but racism? Like, you pushing it. Is she getting pushed around out there? Yes. But like I said, where was this energy when Alyssa Thomas clotheslined Angel Reese? You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of the, you know what, we're going to listen to what he and Shannon Sharp have to say before I give the rest of my commentary. Let me mute my mic because they're saying what I said my last video when Alyssa Thomas clotheslined Angel Reese, but let's hear from some professionals themselves.
Ladies. So there's a hot topic going on right now. Caitlin Clark says she got cheap shotted against the Sky. I mean, throughout the season, she's been getting beat up. Hard screens, elbows, knocked down. It is what it is. She's not the first. She won't be the last. My issue and my question is, where the fuck are her teammates at? Where y'all at? Where the rest of the Indiana Fever at? I've seen a couple girls smirk when she's got knocked down, half-assed to pick her up. Like, y'all supposed to protect the asset, protect the star. And all this is the team. She's the star. You always protect your star. I was someone who protected the stars. You fuck with Kobe, CP, Blake, list goes on. It's going to be a problem because you guys are supposed to be a family. And you wonder why you sit at the bottom of the league right now is because y'all don't protect each other, man. Coach don't do shit about it. Players don't do shit about it. Y'all should be ashamed of it. But the rest of the league is going to continue to test her. And that's what they're supposed to do. It's your guys' fucking job to have her back and have each other's back. Got to do better, ladies.
That's the best advice coming from a NBA vet to any new players and even current WNBA players in the league. Protect the asset, protect the star. And that's the thing. So many people in the W want to be the star. And now that we have Caitlin Clark coming in with that stardom, it's like everybody's fighting for that spot. But one thing I like about Chennedy Carter is because I seen something the other day where she basically stated, like, listen, I know I'm not the star, but I play my role and I play it well. That's how you win games. You got to know your role. And once you know your role, you're able to execute. And when you can execute that role, you'll be given more responsibility. You know what I mean? And so to me, even with a person like Chennedy Carter who feels as though she's not the star, fair enough. But she's a very critical part of the Connecticut Suns team. So you don't have to be a star to be an it factor, if that makes sense. You don't have to be a star to make an impact. So I think that once players in the league can understand their role and get in where they fit in, all will be well. But let me know what y'all think about that. Also, do y'all really think Caitlin Clark is experiencing racism? Like, let's be fucking for real. If we gonna be anything, let's be fucking for real. So let's watch what Shannon Sharp had to say on He and Ocho's show Nightcap. Let me mute my mic again.
That's not basketball. Angel Reese getting tangled up. Angel Reese trying to block her out and she hip checks it to the ground. That's basketball. That's bull jive. That's bush league. They're mad at Caitlin Clark. They're mad at Angel Reese because they're the bird in Magic and they're getting the attention. That was a bush league play. Tell me the time they had this much buzz. Tell me the time they had this many eyes on the draft. Tell me this many times they had watching WNBA preseason games. What you think will happen if LeBron just standing there and somebody ran into the side of it? Or Steph Curry? Reap the benefits. I'm not saying you don't go out there and compete. Yeah. Asia Wilson just got a shoe deal after Caitlin Clark. Asia Wilson, a two-time league MVP, a finals MVP, a rookie of the year, a two-time defensive player of the year, a gold medal. Aaliyah Boston, you're the number one pick. Don't let them girls do your girl like that. Ain't no way in hell you're going to cheap shot my quarterback. You're not finna cheap shot nobody on my team. I'm going to get your ass back.
Did he and Matt Barnes not just say the exact same things, but in their own specific words? They just said the exact same thing. Now, there are a few key things that Shannon Sharp mentioned in this 59-second clip that I really want to highlight. The first thing I want to highlight is how he did mention how both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are Magic and Bird. And so he has acknowledged the impact that both of these women have brought to the game. Right on. 2, he mentioned how Asia Wilson received her shoe deal after Caitlin Clark. Now, I have 2 videos. I just actually created a playlist of all things WNBA, so make sure y'all check it out. The first video I created regarding this shoe deal topic was because people were saying that Asia Wilson is not marketable. So now that you guys have had a chance to watch Asia Wilson play and have seen things go viral and circulate online since the start of the league, do you feel the same way? Let me just ask that question. Number 2, however, he mentioned how Asia Wilson received her deal after Caitlin Clark, right? Now, my second video that I made that spoke on this topic, I asked, or I stated in my own opinion, how I felt that Nike announcing that Asia Wilson now has a shoe deal that they've been working on for 2 years, right off of the heels of all of this controversy, is very convenient. Very convenient. You mean to tell me, y'all heard all the accolades that Shannon Sharpe just listed in regards to Asia Wilson, that y'all been working on the deal for 2 years, and y'all didn't say anything until people started to get on Nike's ass about, like, Asia Wilson got this, she got that. Like, for one, Caitlin Clark didn't even enter the league. She don't even got an NCAA championship. Like, how the fuck does Asia Wilson not have a deal? It just looks crazy. Let's just be honest. Put the black and white shit aside and let's just look at the accolades and shit. It just looks crazy for Asia Wilson, arguably the best player in the WNBA, not to have a signature shoe deal at all. But people wanted her to specifically have one with the big dog Nike. Rightfully so, right? So then Nike comes and wants to save face. So they're like, oh, y'all thought we forgot about Asia? No, we've been working on this for 2 years. So they had to throw the whole 2-year thing out there to save face. Basically said, no. Asia had a deal before Caitlin Clark. We've just been working on it. She just hasn't released her shoe. We just haven't announced it. But y'all was so quick to announce that Caitlin Clark shoe though, right? So it just makes you wonder, like, did she really and truly receive her shoe deal and have been working on it for several years? Or is that way of Nike's just saving face? Because Shannon Sharpe just said her shoe deal came afterwards. And I have to agree with him. I feel like that shoe deal literally came afterwards. And that it was orchestrated to promote it in a way to the people and letting them know that, hey, we're going to tell you guys about it. We didn't want to spoil it. Surprise. Like, that's how I feel like they announced it. We've been working on it, but, just wanted to let you guys know. Like, no, that was to save face. They didn't give a fuck about nothing else but saving face. So anyways, I will say this too, because people are saying that Chennedy Carter has been liking tweets about the incident. And we're going to look at some of the tweets and the trend here. We'll see. Let's take a look and see some of her likes. We'll look at some of her likes. We'll go through it since we're here. First like, your platform is too big to speak on just this clip when you know a whole game was being played. Other things came before this. So Chennedy Carter, I told you I was going to do that. Chennedy Carter is basically saying that something did happen before that. And that's why she got her ass pushed. Okay, looks like she giving Clark some props in some of these likes. Somebody keep popping your shit. We ride behind Chennedy. Been riding since day one. Yeah, a lot of these niggas is crying about the physicality. Physicality in the WNBA got niggas crying. This shit is wicked. It really is. Because it's like, bro, are you serious? And here I am over here like, okay, it is what it is. Toughen up, buttercup. Let's see. Caitlin had some smoke for Chennedy the possession before. Chennedy responded. LMAO fucked around and found out 30 seconds later. See, look, that's Caitlin Clark turning around and saying something right there. Y'all see it? So, yeah. The aggressor, initiator. So someone is showing how Caitlin Clark ain't all innocent, which I can agree, because Caitlin Clark, I've seen her do a couple things in them Iowa games too, and then try to play victim. So, and I've also seen her get in some of these WNBA players' face. Caitlin Clark is not one of them. Like, she's not one of them. Like, you're not just gonna push her around and the thing, yeah, she might be taking some hits and shit, but she look like she'll be all right. I'll be honest, she'll be all right. She's got to toughen up. She's from Iowa. Toughen up, buttercup. If a hip check is going to make you threaten to lose interest in the WNBA, you are never genuinely serious about watching in the first place. Like, Caitlin Clark will definitely be okay, for sure. Her 1 white privilege, 2 straight privilege, 3 pretty privilege, 4 tall privilege didn't help her, huh? People being petty. Clark's tough enough to handle this, and the jealousy will abate soon. But if I were coaching Fever, we'd be knocking Carter's ass back to China, where she played after playing herself out of the league the first time. Damn, did she? I didn't know that. Damn. Okay. Wow. Okay. But no, the facts. Like I said, like y'all heard it from Shannon Sharp and Matt Barnes. Like, where was your team at, man? I'm not for none of that. Y'all heard Matt Barnes say, listen, when it was Kobe, when it was this person, that person, I was on their ass. Like, we not doing that because we a family at the end of the day. We a team. We spend more time with each other than we do our own family. Okay. I don't even know if I'm going to get a copyright for that, so I ain't going to play it. Okay, I just wanted to look at some of her tweets to kind of see what was going on. Let me know what you guys think. I want to end off by saying this in regards to just Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso and just the rookie class and how they look. This is a phenomenal rookie class. One of a kind, that's for sure. I want to touch on the stats from this Sky versus Fever game. So Indiana Fever rookie Caitlin Clark. Oh, wait, hold on. I came down too far. Oh, wait, no, I didn't. Indiana rookie Fever Caitlin Clark tossed the ball high into the air as time expired Saturday. Veteran guard Kelsey Mitchell just started clapping. Finally, after 4 consecutive home losses, the Fever were celebrating. In the last matchup between college rivals Clark and Reese, and on a day former South Carolina star Camila Cardoso made her regular season pro debut in front of another sellout crowd, Clark finished with 11 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists over the Sky. Let's see, what are the other stats? Okay, here we go. Mitchell scored 18 points, Alyssa 17 points, 9 rebounds, while Christy Wallace and Leah Boston each scored 10. Boston, Cardoso's former teammate at South Carolina, also had 8 rebounds. At the Fever, 2-8, snapped a 3-game losing streak. Did she have 8 rebounds? I thought she had 6 rebounds. Let's see. I had read another article that... Okay. Reese finished with 8 points and 13 rebounds in her last round against Clark, while Cardoso played for the first time since injuring her right shoulder in a pregame season on May 3rd. Cardoso had 11 points and 6 rebounds in 18 minutes, but was called for a foul that led to Boston's 3-point play with 1:19 left, which proved the difference. And then also, too, she traveled. Oh, she traveled on the inbound play at the end, too. She caused a very critical turnover. Like, oh, my gosh. She traveled like 2-3 times in this game. But I've actually had people say that because the game is so much more fast-paced, that a lot of rookies travel. It's a common call on a lot of rookies or beginning WNBA players that they travel a lot. So it's just a matter of her adjusting to the pace of the game, honestly, and she'll be fine. But Angel Reese too, she's been called for several travels as well. So I think it's just a matter of them adjusting to the pace of the game, and they'll be all right. I will say, in terms of rookies, Kate Martin is actually looking really good over there with the Aces, and she wasn't even a top pick. She was like somewhere past number 15, I think, somewhere around there. But she wasn't even a top pick, and she fits right in over there. So she's even entering the conversation now in terms of the rookies that are showing up and showing out. Aaliyah Edwards, who plays for the Mystics, I think she was a 5th or 6th overall pick. I want to say 5th. I need her to make a little bit more noise, but the Mystics is struggling right now. So I think it's just something that overall there has to be adjustments made more than likely from the top down over there in Washington, because they over there getting their ass beat. They like 0-8, damn near 0-9. Like, I don't even think they beat the Fever. No, they didn't. They didn't beat anybody, clearly. They're 0 whatever. And so, yeah, they look bad, and she's not making any noise. Everyone is making noise. I feel like Angel Reese has had the smoothest, the best transition. She fits right into the WNBA. Rakia Jackson, Cameron Brink, Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark has had a rough transition because of the fact that they're not taking it easy on her by any fucking means. But she's transitioning like she should. She's transitioning like a star should. So I feel like within the next 2 years or so, it's going to be a different conversation surrounding Caitlin Clark. And that's going to be in a great way. This whole race conversation and all of that, that's not going to any longer be a thing, because she'll be in the league by then and have well adjusted. So let me know what you guys think. I do also think that Angel Reese can work on her post moves. I think she's really aggressive down low, and that does play to her benefit. But if she's able to really navigate that post and then work on her 3-point shot, she's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I think that she's just a big body down there, so it's not really much you can do with her in the paint when she gets that ball. But I do feel as though she can work on her mid-range. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, because as y'all can hear, my son is banging on the door. So until next time, deuces.